Currently, pioneers of artificial intelligence have approached the subject without paying much attention to how the real brain works and reacts. This is similar to how aeronautical engineers studied flight without really understanding birds. Although computer engineers have managed to create a sort of supercomputer running on 20,000 watts, which is 1,000 times more than the human brain, it's still no match to the intelligence that a human brain possesses. This is where neuroscientists come into the equation. They want to study the brain at the same time as computer engineers study technology. Their goal is to find out how the brain learns and to use that knowledge to create computers which are capable of learning continuous forms of information at the same time, rather than learning one at a time. This is essentially the project to reverse engineer the brain. In order to reverse engineer the brain, we would need to study it extensively and understand how it works as well as how it fails. After understanding its functions, we need to be able to recreate these processes on the computers which exist today. This feat will require the collaboration with fields of engineering, such as computer and software, as well as the knowledge and contribution of the life sciences field of neuroscience. Several years ago, one of the accepted models of neuroconnection in the adult brain, known as the tripartite synapse, was found to be wrong. The neuroscientists had misleading information. This possesses a problem because how can the computer and software engineers successfully create codes or computers that mimic the brain's functions if the base of their comparison is incorrect? To resolve this problem, neuroscientists must be able to correctly describe and break down the brain. Certain sources state that the issue may be that researchers focus on cellular brain studies alone, neglecting it on larger scales. A neuroscientist by the name David Marr implies that Human Brain Project first needs a theory for how language or consciousness could emerge from neurons and synapses before blindly simulating billions of them. Success towards fully understanding brain activity will open new avenues for deeper understanding of the basis of intelligence and even consciousness. No doubt providing engineers with insight into even greater accomplishments for enhancing the joy of living. Nerve cells communicate by firing electrical pulses that release molecules called neurotransmitters, which transmit messages from one nerve cell to its neighbor. Each nerve cell receives messages from tens of thousands of others linked up in complex networks. Since there are so many pathways, it is difficult to trace all these signaling pathways. Therefore, we need software engineers to create code that will be able to mimic the behavior of these complex networks. Fortunately, they've had one breakthrough. By combining science and engineering, software engineers were able to view algorithms out of brain-like multi-artificial neural networks so that they had responses like those in which the neuroscientists had measured. By doing so, the experts successfully taught these artificial networks to perform visual tasks that humans are capable of, such as recognizing objects from many perspectives. Although the progress so far is impressive, in order to fully realize the HBP's potential, further advances are needed in technology for understanding the brain in the first place. Computer engineers and bioengineers need to create machines which use non-invasive methods for simultaneously measuring the activity of brain cells without harming the actual brain in testing. In addition, today's computers have electronic logic gates which are either on or off, but if computer and bioengineers could create machines which replicates the neuron's ability to assume various levels of excitation, they could create a much more powerful computing machine. By doing so, the machines created would be useful for not only reverse engineering the brain, but in several other aspects of research which require heavy computer-based calculations. To conclude, testing and analyzing all the complexities of nerve cell signals, their dynamic pathways, and feedback loops presents a major challenge. Understanding the brain's methods will enable engineers to simulate its activities, leading to deeper insights about the brain's functionalities. Such simulations could even offer more precise methods for testing potential biotechnology solutions to brain disorders, such as drugs or neural implants. Through the combined efforts of these fields, other technological breakthroughs become possible, such as the prevention of neurological disorders by technical innovations that allow wiring of new material into our bodies to do the jobs of lost or damaged nerve cells. Or perhaps the use of implanted electronic devices could help victims of dementia to remember, blind people to see, and crippled people to walk.